time and a good day for right. So welcome again to our SEAOHUN One Health student webinar. So we are pleased to have you all tonight as we explore this webinar with the topic of forging impactful videos for wildlife conservation and One Health. So let me introduce myself. I'm Maureen, a program assistant from SEAOHUN, and currently also taking in charge of the pre-service and the serving as a focal person for the competition. So I will be moderating today's session. For your quick background information, this webinar is conducted as part of the SEAOHUN Regional Student Competition, which is a video competition. And this webinar is mainly targeted to this regional student audience, especially to the student teams who are preparing to participate in this video competition. So through this webinar, we hope that students will get to explore and the connections of the wildlife conservation, zoonotic disease, One Health, and also they will gain the general idea of the video communication. And lastly, about this competition guidelines and submission requirements. And we are also acknowledging that this webinar is made possible by the generous support of the USAID and our partner Chevron. Before we start to our agenda, I hope you also might see the agenda list in our chat that our team are sharing for you for your review. So before starting our first agenda, let me briefly touch on the housekeeping rules. Firstly, I would like to inform that this, as you know, that this session is being recorded, and the recording will be posted on our social media and the YouTube, so that you can watch and share this video back to the students and your friends who couldn't join with us today. Secondly, we also want you to engage and taking this chance to interact each other, and please feel free to use the chat, and you can easily introduce yourself by mentioning your name, short name, and the country where you are coming from and joining. And we also want to encourage that you can rename yourself with your country followed by your name. And throughout this webinar, we are also requesting that you kindly take care of the microphones and to be muted in order to prevent any disturbance. And you can use chat button to drop any questions or inquiries related to any technical challenges. Our team will be there for you to support and to help address any technical issue. Lastly, there will be in a link in the chat for you to download the agenda and then the Zoom background, because there will be a group photo sessions in a few minutes right after our welcoming remarks. So we want you to aware of this and to change the background in advance. Thank you. So now we are officially starting our webinar with the first agenda item. I would like to invite Ms. Anti Rismarianti, Program Manager from our SEAOHUN Secretariat, to open this webinar and give the opening remarks.
Yes, thank you, Maureen. Very good afternoon, Dr. Karun, Ms. Techawan, distinguished speakers, and our esteemed participants. I regret to inform you that Dr. Tongkorn Yam, our SEAOHUN's Executive Director, is unfortunately unable to join us today due to a conflicting schedule. Nonetheless, her unwavering commitment to the One Health principles and education to the advancement of our shared goal in this webinar resonated throughout this event. So on behalf of her, it is a great pleasure for me and excitement that I, as the Regional Program Manager, welcome you to the SEAOHUN competition webinar on forging impactful videos for wildlife conservation and One Health. I'm honored to stand before you today as we embark on this exciting journey to explore innovative solutions in wildlife conservation and the prevention of genetic disease. This webinar holds particular significance as it served as an integral component of the SEAOHUN 2024 regional student competition that Maureen has already mentioned earlier, and supported by USAID and Chevron. These competitions represent collaborative efforts to nurture the next generations of leaders in One Health, empowering multidisciplinary student teams to develop creative and practical solutions through short videos. Throughout today's session, we will explore key concepts surrounding wildlife conservation, genetic disease preventions, and the interconnectedness of One Health principles. Our esteemed speaker, Dr. Sandy Chong Shu Shan, will share insight, experiences, and strategies aimed at fostering a deeper understanding of these critical issues. And Miss Antara Taranum Ananta, glad also to have her here. She will provide invaluable guidance on effective communication strategies, equipping our participants, all of you, with the tools needed to convey your messages to the broader community effectively. So I would like also to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished speakers, partners, and participants for your unwavering commitment to advancing One Health principles and fostering a healthier, more sustainable future. Without further ado, let us commence this journey of explorations, collaborations, and innovation. Together, let us work towards a world where the health of humans, animals, and the environment are intricately intertwined, guided by the principles of One Health. Thank you, everyone. Back to you, Maureen.
Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you for your welcoming words and inspiring the students, participants. So, secondly, I would like to invite Dr. Karun, the representative of the USAID IDMA mission. So, thank you, Dr. Karun, for your presence. It's over for you to give the speech. Yeah.
Thank you, Maureen, and thank you very much, the aunties from SEAOHUN, and also Dr. Tishawan, representative from Chevron's, also participating students and speakers, and also colleagues here. It is very exciting moment for me to be the opening session of this webinar. As we know, the human activities, whether direct or indirect, have played a significant role in the our eco-health systems. And also sometimes it's create extinction or endangerment of wildlife species that we will discuss more in today. And wildlife consumption, selling, hunting, it still exists. Even sometimes it's illegal. I think most of the time it's illegal. And today, demand for food consumption is higher and higher, and agricultural farming is more intense. People need more land to increase the production, which sometimes lead to the encroachment into the forest for plant and animal production. Additionally, the expansion of tourist attraction areas and activities also put the pressure on our natural resources. And also, as we consume more, I'm talking about the sea, wild animal as well. As we consume more, we produce more waste, and which end up in the environment. For example, the plastic waste in the sea can harm the marine mammals like turtle or dolphin by obstructing in their bodies. And these human activities, just a few of them, whether intentionally or unintentionally, not only cause the wildlife extinction and endangerment, but also increase the risks of emerging infectious disease and zoonotic diseases for humans. We witnessed about the COVID-19 pandemics, which is hypothesized to have originated from wildlife market, where there were high contact between human, wildlife that being sold there. The virus jumped from wildlife to human and subsequently caused the pandemic. Another other examples that apart from this tragic example is the the Nipah encephalitis that outbreaks in Malaysia during 1998 to 1999 in Malaysia, which is because of the encroachment of the pig farms into the forest area, and then the virus, the high contact between bats and pig population happens. The virus jump from bat to pigs and then subsequently to humans, who is the farm worker there. And also the risks still be there. Some Nipah outbreaks still happen in South Asia countries. The risk of Ebola virus still roam in Africa, and the avian influenza H5N1, which caused the death of thousands of the white sea mammals, and the infection in domestic mammals in American continent in the past few years create concerns of pandemic from avian influenza H5N1. So we know that human cannot exist alone in this planet. The eco-health system is complex with each component relying on the impact many others. This is where the concept of One Health come into play. One Health is an integrated, unified approach that aims to sustainably balance and optimize the health of people, animals, and ecosystem. It recognizes that the health of human, domestic, and wild animals, plant, and wider environment include ecosystem are closely linked and interdependent. I'm very happy to hear that the target audience of this student competition is youth, who are the future. You are the bridge between current and future world. Drawing from my experience, engaging in the USAID One Health Workforce Next Generation project, I find inspiration in your ideas and expression regarding the challenge and motivating our society. And I am sure that it will happen again in this activity. We also hope that you and everyone can learn while engaging in the program. The ongoing collaboration between SEAOHUN and Chevron has been incredibly valuable to us, and I am sincerely grateful for the opportunities to participate in joint initiatives. It is truly inspiring to observe the development of our partnership and the innovative accomplishments. And I hope the webinar will be successful in achieving its aim and will spark the interest from the target audiences. I'm looking forward to see new generation ideas and expression that will help our society address this challenge. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Karun, for giving such an inspiring and empowering speech to our students participants. We really appreciate for your highlighting about the importance of One Health and then the joint efforts in this regard of the addressing the global health concern. So last not but least, I would like to invite Ms. Kuntichawaran Yanudom from Chevron to give the opening remarks to our student participants.
Hello, Sawadee. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone can hear me okay, right?
Yes, Kat, we can hear you, Kat.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Auntie, Dr. Karun, Dr. Sandy, honored speakers, all participants and guests. My name is Tishawanya Udom. I'm Associate Investment Advisor for Chevron Eurasia Pacific. I'm based in Bangkok, Thailand. So thank you for having me here today. On behalf of Chevron, it's my pleasure to meet you all at SEAOHUN competitive webinar on this One Health in wildlife conservation and zoonotic disease prevention today. And I would like to extend my gratitude to SEAOHUN and its partners for organizing this kind of creative and motivational event like this. Chevron is honored to have the opportunity to support this event, not only through the funding, but also by sharing our expertise as well in the session. As today we have Antara, our expert in communications, with here today. She will be present right after this. as we describe ourselves in Chevron as a human energy company. So in terms of this, that strive to overcome any obstacle, drive in progress, and find responsible solution that work for all. And we really truly believe that our human energies can enhance and support the community where we work with. Our continuous support is broader to the many kind of aspect, and it's also including this communication expertise as well, which is very important to emphasize on how to convey this message to convey the message and concept of One Health to the public more efficiently. As Andy mentioned earlier about the objective of this webinar are to understand the key concept of wildlife conservation, zoonotic disease prevention, and their connection to One Health. I understand as well that this year in particular, the event is focusing on exploring innovative solutions related to wildlife conservation and biodiversity as well. Additionally, we will acquire general idea for communication strategies in conveying this message to the general public and obtain clear guidance on competitive requirement and instruction. So I'm very glad to say that this kind of event marks an important step in how we promote the One Health concept in various aspects. This webinar featured an exciting the lineup speakers and presentation, which I hope this will benefit you all for the upcoming event activity and will benefit your work for the competition in communication as well. And we are also looking forward to the productive and formative session. Thank you for joining us today and hope you will learn with joy for the rest of the webinar. Without further ado, hand over to you, Maureen. Thank you.
Thank you, Kunti One, for your kind words and also very inspiring words to our student participants. I hope we are very enjoying these webinars and we will be having very good discussions and learning from our key speakers. So I would like to move forward for the next agenda items. That it's time for us to have a group photo. So I would like everyone to open your camera, not only the speaker but also the other participants, and you can easily download the backgrounds in the chat that we provided. So we can have the very same background for everyone. So today, as of now, 47 participants we have got joining this session. Okay, I'm gonna give some few seconds for people to change their background. If you have any challenge or difficulties with changing the background, it's okay with the existing background. You can join. If it is possible, we want to see your face and you can show your beautiful, pretty faces. We are so glad to have everyone here. All right, so I think without further ado, I'm gonna take just some snapshot here. Counting from 1 to 3, and then I will be taking. Okay, are you ready? Starting 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Okay, one more please. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next page, I'm gonna having with different participants. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you so much for joining this photo session. We will be sharing this beautiful faces and the picture after the end of the webinar. We are gonna having a very exciting part, and this is the very major part of our webinar. I'm pleased to invite our first speaker, Dr. Sandy, to talk about the wildlife conservation, zoonotic disease, and One Health. Before then, I would like to read about her biography. Dr. Sandy was graduated from the University of Putra, Malaysia, with the doctor in veterinary medicine. She proceeded to complete her master in veterinary science degree in UPM. Later in 2016, she obtained her PhD from the University of Nottingham. In 2021, she obtained the Asian College of Conservation Medicine Diploma Certificate from ASCM. Dr. Sandy has over 2 decades of experience in zoo and wildlife animal medicine. She began her professional veterinary career in Taiping Zoo, Night Safari Parrot, as a veterinary officer, and she later joined as the Department of Wildlife National Park in Melaka Zoo. Currently, Dr. Sandy is Associate Professor at the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University Malaysia, Kelantan. At the same time, she holds the Deputy Dean for academic positions, focusing on the Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, teaching and ensuring the standard quality of UMK graduates and the postgraduate academic performance. As one of the member of the institutional animal care and the use of the community, Dr. Sandy has also the responsibility to oversee the animal use in teaching and the research. She has also been with the university biosafety and security communities in charge of monitoring and assessing the use of biological materials in research. And she has been actively involved with SEAOHUN, Malaysia One Health University Network, in order to promote the One Health awareness among the student and the staff. She is also currently holding the vice president position at the Malaysia Zoological Medicine Association and board member as ASCM. So this is a very glance overview of our speaker, and we are really glad to have you today and to share your insightful presentation. Dr. Sandy, it's over to you, and the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, Maureen, for the introduction, and good afternoon or good evening to Dr. Karun, Miss Auntie, and Miss Chikawan. Like to make you acquaintance, and to everyone as well. So I'll share my slides now. I hope everyone can see it.
Yes, we can see it clearly.
Okay. So thank you to SEAOHUN for giving me the honor to give a presentation regarding wildlife conservation, zoonotic diseases, and One Health. So I hope that this presentation can spark some interest and give the students some direction for their following activities. So go on, this is my quick bio, which Maureen has already went through. So just very quickly, I'm sure most of us understand about wildlife. It's a collaborative, multi-sectoral, and transdisciplinary approach at multiple levels, from local to global. And we are trying to achieve optimal health in human, animal, and environment. So besides just talking about diseases, it's actually beyond that, because humans are basically receiving all the requirements from food, water, air, and even the environment to give us some sense of wellness. And for the animals, they obviously provide us with food, and human activities would also may lead to antibiotic and antimicrobial resistance. And if overuse of the environment, and we would face food security issues as well. So that's very quickly about One Health. So coming into the current the current 2 or 3 years, we have formed from a tripartite. Now we are in the quadripartite One Health action plan. So which includes FAO, UNEP, WHO, and WUA. So this would form a strong and comprehensive coalition to work for One Health, because we are no longer talking about just zoonotic diseases. We are talking about wellness for all, including the health system, the neglected tropical and vector-borne diseases, food safety, antimicrobial resistance, as well as, very importantly, our environment, where we are, all of us, the plant and animals and human, are living in. So why One Health is important, and that especially nowadays, it is even more critical as human population have increased tremendously since the last century. It's an exponential growth, and with that, more and more people are living together, closer together, especially in the large cities, urban areas. And because of, to support the growing population, the land use are very much focus on providing for people's consumption. So that will lead to climate change if we are not careful. And definitely, besides during the COVID outbreak, where we have stopped many travels, nowadays it is back in almost full swing, and people are moving again all over the world. And now we see more and more people are interested in exotic pets or even wildlife. So besides that, also people are more interested about animals beyond just as a food provision, as our ancestors many centuries ago. So this increase the connectivity between people and also people with animals, which would increase the risk of disease transmission. Right. So I will address the topic given to me in the 4 main focus. So firstly, conservation method. This is actually is parallel to One Health, where it is also a transdisciplinary approach to study the relationship between human, animal, and ecosystem. So it is really in line with One Health. So the 4 points of focus I will be talking about zoonotic diseases, about habitat and biodiversity conservation, climate change resilience, and combating illegal wildlife trade. So let's start with zoonotic diseases. I really like this diagram because often zoonotic diseases is defined as the spread of disease from animal to human. Often we forget that human too can infect animals, and because animals are unable to complain to human, so perhaps many a times it is actually underreported and unaware by human. So, but we need to understand zoonotic diseases actually spread between both humans and animals, and it go both ways, like in this diagram. In fact, we are worried about animals infected humans. That's definitely something that is quite important in public health. However, when human infect animals, the consequences for the animals is so much more greater than the other way around. We can see by the example when coronaviruses this is more very likely the minks were infected by human, but because they are living in a close, these are mink farms, so they are living, the animals are living very close to each other, and the diseases spread very quickly between animals. And humans approach to disease control, especially zoonotic disease control, is often to cull the animals. So in this case, you can see this news report. It's not just hundreds or thousands, or it's actually millions of minks are being culled to safeguard public health. So it's quite devastating for the animals. On another note, while reading up on zoonotic diseases, I came about this paper, which actually said that canine distemper, although it is not a zoonotic disease, but it actually originated from human viruses. So the research has indicated that canine distemper actually could have originated from measles and rinderpest, and measles is a human viral disease actually. So you see the devastating consequences that human diseases could cause in the animal population. And it's now canine distemper is worldwide. In fact, in Malaysia, the most recent reports, we have our Malayan tigers are infected by canine distemper, which is quite a critical issue for Malaysia, because our tigers are also facing the threat of is endangered now, and if we are not careful, the animals can go extinct in the next 50 years, right? So when it comes to talk about COVID-19, so this is the coronavirus. So human coronavirus, the ones that have been very much publicized or well known, like the SARS-CoV, MERS-CoV, are known to have originated from bats to the civets, camels, and how human acquired these viruses is very much due to human activities. For example, some related to local cultures, the dietary practices, and in fact, some is related to religious practices as well. As when we talk about COVID-19 up to now, it's very complex, and we are still not 100% sure how it came about to mixtures of the genetic makeup of the viruses that eventually became a human disease, right? So Dr. Karun had talked about Nipah virus. So upon many years of research, so it is concluded that it's actually a series of unfortunate consequences or coincidental events. Firstly, the natural host, fruit bats. It was found that they have always carried the Nipah viruses in their body. And in fact, bats carry many viruses, but they are very much healthy. So in this case, there is a habitat disruption. So very likely a forest fire that forces the bats to come up from their natural habitats. And lo and behold, they found a new source, food source in fruit orchards that coincidentally existed in pig farms. And when these fruits or maybe droppings came to the pig's pen, and pigs accidentally consumed them, and the viruses amplified in their body, and that increased the source of infection that was able to be transmitted to human. If human were just in direct contact with bats, perhaps the dose will not be that high, or we do not really have very long-term interaction with bats. So this is how when they developed into a severe zoonotic disease in Malaysia, and where life were lost, and many lives of pigs were lost also due to culling, right? So this have shown how human-wildlife interface resulted in a severe or devastating zoonotic disease transmission. So in order to understand how zoonotic diseases come about, USAID have sponsored the PREDICT program. It's a research program to look into how we can reduce pandemic risks and promote global health. So for until recently, this is based on their reports. So they did surveillance in many countries, as you can see on the map here. Most they used to focus in Southeast Asia, then expand to Asia, and then now Africa as well. So they took many wildlife samples and to see what are the potential pathogens they can be found in these animals. So they did discover quite a number of pathogens, and so just discovering what they are, what it's not enough to just say they are there. What can we do about it? So they have taken a multidisciplinary approach to identify the population that's at risk and how they would be able to change their behavior to reduce the risk. And of course, through this project, they have built up the human resource capacity in terms of skills and knowledge to further this program. So they also use modeling analytics to in an attempt to predict what else can occur. Perhaps hopefully we can predict when is the next pandemic and we can stop it. Talking about habitat and biodiversity conservation. So as we mentioned before, the anthropogenic activities have resulted in quite a large scale habitat destruction. We converted a green forest into concrete forest, open meadows into cropland, and from clean and beautiful water sources, we put them into dams and concentrated them. So even today, biodiversity loss is continuing, and with the increase of human population, it's estimated that other animal species are being affected, and possibly we will lost them forever. Okay. So the main top 5 threats to biodiversity will include land use and sea use, where we are harvesting these resources from these areas, and as mentioned before, also pollution. The more we use, the more waste that we create, and that would induce climate change. And we also introduce invasive species to different areas of the world, and they actually impacted on the native species, and that would reduce the biodiversity of the original habitat, which when the biodiversity is reduced, the risk of disease spread would be increased because the natural bio defense has been broken. Okay, so as you can see, biodiversity, it would provide us human with multiple resources, from food security, water sources, to even mental health. As since I was young, people would say if you're stressed, you just take a walk outside, look at the trees, and you feel more calm and happy. So if we are lost all that and we are just facing with the 4 walls, probably that's not a very good outcome for all of us. So biodiversity is important for us to sustain our long-term wellness. Okay, so in a paper published in Science, it was indicated that in probably more than 50% of the world's land surfaces has been the local diversity has been reduced to a point that is below the safe limits. So you can look into this map. So the parts that are red have exceeded deep red, I exceeded the safe threshold. So this is quite critical, that if we keep going on, then the earth resources may not be able to recover after that point. Okay. So talking about climate change resilience, not only it will impact the recipient behavior and the health of wildlife. For example, where they were not able to survive previously. So, for example, in temperate countries, and temperature is risen, so with wildlife, and also other such as vectors also will move to where it was unable to survive right now, and that will increase the disease transmission between animals and humans and other species as well. So that lead to a change in the disease dynamics and the ecosystem stability. So under One Health approach, conservation could be addressed to enhance the resilience of ecosystem and species to climate change. If possible, we like to restore degraded habitats so that the ecology resilience can be improved. Wildlife corridors is important because with the use of land, we often have make little pockets of instead of one big piece of land, we make into smaller and separated ecosystem for many species that actually require a bigger area. And in this case, we kind of like cut off the opportunity for the animals to breed and to go to different areas within the same habitat. So this would impact on the genetic diversity. So the breeding would happen within a very small and population. So we may lose the genetic diversity. And community is very important because after all, they are the one that's staying in this ecosystem. If they are unable to have opportunity to better their livelihood, and the committee will not support any changes. So education is very important. And I think the most important point would be how would be able to reduce anthropogenic stresses onto the environment that will eventually impact on animal and human health. So one very important example in habitat rehabilitation is Loess Plateau in China. So this area has been a cradle of ancient Chinese civilization for thousands of years ago, but over years, it has undergone much agriculture and grazing, or I would say overuse. So it has lead to soil loosen, and they are no longer able to pull out the water, underground water, and the vegetation. So when the soil are easily washed off, so this will cause floods, with I think happen in many countries that we see nowadays. When there's heavy rain, you very often will see floods happening. So this Loess watershed rehabilitation project has started in the mid 1990s, and you can read through the details over here. So basically, it is I would say a different type, but it's still a One Health approach. So we have multiple disciplinary experts coming in, and they also engage the local communities on how to turn the damage around. Okay, so the positive outcome has been recorded. So this is reported in this journal, and you can see the tremendous impact from 1990s, where the area looks like a desert. And in 2009, when the report was published, it returned, the greenery has returned, and the stability of the landscape has came back. I think this is a very exciting turn of event for the entire area, because it is quite a large landmass. Okay. So I think the last point about combating illegal wildlife trade. So if you Google and you see illegal wildlife trade is as big, if not bigger, than even the drug trafficking trade, because for drug trafficking in, well, at least in Malaysia, it carries a very heavy penalty. While we talk about wildlife trade, even though the monetary returns is comparable, but the penalty is relatively low compared to drug trafficking. We have indication that it has been used by the even perhaps people in the different trades to gain money. So what we are looking into through the One Health framework, through cooperation between the wildlife enforcement, public health agencies, and local communities. Currently, in many countries, we focus on the law enforcement, but if we can include others, we could more successfully disrupt illegal trade networks, reduce the demand of wildlife products, and provide alternative livelihood to communities. Because sometimes, very often, these are the local communities are the one who are harvesting this wildlife because that is one way they see the most direct way for them to make a living. So we have seen many reports. This is again how human-wildlife interface would increase when you have exotic pets coming in. And in Malaysia, although we may not be the supplier, but we have been some sort of like a transit point of these smuggled animals. So even the most recent large confiscation cases have occurred. And very often they involve reptiles because reptiles are quite, they're generally quiet. You don't see them making noise and do not, I guess their metabolism is quite low. So very often they can be kept in the enclosed area for a long time. Okay, even that still going to result in mortality. So this global wildlife program is an initiative worldwide. And I want to say, but we have to spend money to combat illegal wildlife trade. So this project is across Africa, Asia, and Latin America, and the Caribbean as well. So to address all this illegal wildlife trade and other human-wildlife conflict. So these are the countries that are involved. So many of the SEAOHUN countries are included in this program, as you can see in this map. And the approach is through conservation of wildlife and their habitats to promote wildlife-based economics and combating wildlife crime and reducing the demand. So these are some examples where the countries have shown good approach or strategies. So if you're interested, you can download this report online. It's readily available. And so in some countries, talking about conserving wildlife and their habitats, how they develop anti-poaching strategies and action plan to improve the conservation of these areas. For example, in this case, like in Cambodia, develop community-based ecotourism. So instead of harvesting the resources from the forest, so that will eventually use up all the resources. So, but you go for ecotourism, the habitat has to be conserved and to attract more and more visitors. So that would give the local communities perhaps a different of living, how to make a living. And so combating wildlife crimes, this is definitely important. So like in Indonesia and Malaysia, they have established and improved the wildlife crime enforcement and investigation, and very importantly, prosecution. Very often we focus on enforcement. The culprit was caught, but if the prosecution do not go through, so it become quite a waste actually. So, and lastly, through reducing the demand. So in this case, for example, in Thailand and Philippines, they have worked on the public education on how to reduce the consumption or the need for illegal wild meat and the wildlife parts for different or live animals for different purposes. Okay. So in a small part at UMK, so we have exotic animal teaching laboratory, where in the this teaching laboratory, we establish a few naturalistic enclosure. So although it's not really big, but we aim for showing a naturalistic habitat which can encourage normal behavior in these animals. So in this case, what we can see, so it's actually a chameleon. So because we've seen that exotic pet ownership is increasing, and very often they were not well educated or informed, and because especially reptiles will think that they don't really show any emotion, and people think that it is fine to just keep them in an empty box. So we are trying to educate our student, and if possible also the public is actually not a good way to do that. So this one example is a frog, Batman frog. So we give them, the plants may not be natural always, but we give them the correct substrate and some hiding spaces, and of course clean water and food sources. Okay. Because these go on one welfare concept, where how the animal welfare will impact the human communities and ecosystem, and sustainable in acquiring, in keeping these animals, how it would impact the human and the environment, and the integrated solutions, how we can apply cross-disciplinary collaboration to address welfare issues. So in this case, this is in natural. So this is in one of the tourism spots where you have tarantula. This is actually natural occurring. So it's by the this tarantula can be found in the slope. So this is and because people are starting to get interested to keeping these animals, very often they just harvest right from these natural places, and if they do not know how to take care of it, and very quickly this animal will die, and they will go on and to harvest again. So over time, if more and more people are interested, and uh more of these animals being harvested, so very soon we'll be losing this species in that particular region. Okay, so in our laboratory, we have established some breeding enclosures like such as this. So you have, it's very simple, just suitable leaf for this. This is a stick insect, and they are able to breed quite well. Okay, and this is the, oh sorry, this is a stick insect, this is a leaf insects. So source of exotic pets is important. So I believe not only in Malaysia, in other countries as well, we do have laws that protect this wildlife species. Just that at times there are some challenges to enforce them. If the people aware about this, and they only gain their exotic pets from reputable or legal sources, this will help very much in conserving the animals. So for my students, so we do talk about One Health issues. We engage students from other faculties. Sometimes we also have programs with the school, high schools pupils, so to inculcate the One Health concept in them. And our International Veterinary Student Association also, they will organize talks online about exotic pets and climate change and zoonotic diseases. So I think I have come to the end. So One Health is, no doubt, we are all connected. So by protecting one, we will protect all. So in hope that by uh, taking care of one species, so the surrounding ecosystem would also be preserved and conserved, and that would eventually lead to a better environment for everyone. So here's some references that are not obvious in the presentation, if you'd like to take a look. And with that, thank you for your attention. So I'm not sure if we have time to have question and answers. So thank you very much.
Yes, it is indeed. Yeah. Yeah, we will be having a question and answer at the end of the last presentation. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sandy. So we really appreciate your insightful presentations and enriching presentation that covers several topics, connecting the connection between the One Health and then wildlife conservations, and the importance of protecting the biodiversity and also the community involvement in each of these actions taken. So in the as I mentioned, please feel free to drop the questions in the chat, and we will be addressing by the end of the last presentation. So for now, moving towards the next key speaker that we are really pleased to have, Miss Antara, who is currently working as a communication specialist in Chevron, Bangladesh, and she has completed her Bachelor of Business Administration from BRAC University in Marketing and Accounting with highest distinction. So Miss Antara has joined the Chevron since 2020 as a operation analyst in Dhaka operation, and after completing her internship in the same department. In March 2022, she transitioned to the corporate affairs, assuming the position of communication specialist, where her core responsibility was to oversee the branding, internal communication, and executive messaging. She has expertise in crafting effective communication resources in different moods, which serve internal and external stakeholder for Chevron Bank Bangladesh. Additionally, she played a pivotal role in Bangladesh Women Employee Network, a diversity and inclusion initiative in Chevron Corporation as the chapter deputy lead position. So this is an overview, the glance of Ms. Antara, and we are glad to have you today, and we will be hearing the very insightful presentations about this video and then the communication strategy. So over to you, Antara, and the floor is yours.
Hello everyone, I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see, but not in a full screen mode.
Not in a full screen mode?
Yes, only with the slides.
Okay, so let me stop sharing again and share again. Is it visible now?
Not not the full screen mode, only the one with the slide listed, Maybe can you try sharing the PDF version? Because sometimes it may happen. Or if you would like, would you like us to share?
Yeah. Let me share the PDF then.
Okay.
Okay. So sorry for the inconvenience. Okay. Is this better?
Yes, it's better.
Okay, so hello everyone. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Um, Good afternoon to everyone joining from different parts of the world. I am Antara Tarnamanantu and I go by the name Antara. And as a part of my role in Chevron Bangladesh as a communication specialist, one of my core responsibility is crafting video messages. And in this presentation today, we'll be discussing how you can strategize an impactful video. So, mostly where I struggle is I'm always pondering upon where do you start? the most important part of a video is planning and preparation for me. And as one of my teachers mentioned in school is failing to plan is planning to fail. So for me, I always have to get ahead and plan how I'm going to do the video. For me, the video starts with a document or a communication material. And along with this, you should be able to also visualize how do you want the video to be. There are many styles of a video, so start by getting some inspiration. As we move forward in this presentation, we'll see how we craft clear and precise messaging in video communication, along with some of the common pitfalls. Understanding your audience. The first step in creating an effective video communication is understanding your audience. And as for this competition, I know it was mentioned in the background that the video is targeted to the public and non scientific group. Therefore, you have to tailor your content according to your audience interest and preference, and you must acknowledge and respect their understanding level as well. So avoid using acronyms or jargons or very flowery words. So, it's not difficult for them to understand. When you make a video, you're making it for the general people. And you're not going to amplify how well you know English or how much literature word you have in your head, right? So you have to make it very concise and simple, and translating the complex into the simple is also a kind of art. So you always have to understand that who is your target audience and who are you making the video for. Next comes organizing the framework, and this is a major ingredient for having the perfect recipe of a video. So, dive into your topic. Gather relevant information, data, and examples, and organize your content logically. Start with an introduction, followed by main points and supporting information, and a conclusion. Hook your audience from the beginning, and you can start with an attention grabbing statement, or a fascinating question, or a captivating anecdote. Using an anecdote or like a rhetorical question is my favorite type of starting of a video, because that is when you can really grab attention of your audience. So you have to really plan your message. So, define the purpose of your communication, understanding your audience and their needs, and organizing your thoughts and main points. This is how you can plan your message. Crafting your content, this is another part where you have to write a clear and concise script. Of course, you cannot do it at the first go. You have to create draft, and then when you reread it, you can find improvement opportunities. So use storytelling to engage the audience and enhance your video. Incorporate visuals to enhance the message clearly as well. And as we talk about organizing the visuals, let's see how we are going to plan our visuals, right? So, planning the visual is also a very important part of doing a video communication. Use high quality visuals, and this can be images, charts, diagrams to complement your words. Keep each of the shot and frames focused on one idea for clarity. And there are some technical aspects of the video as well, right? So you have to choose the right equipment, you have to choose the right setting, along with ensuring good lighting and sound quality. In Chevron, when we do videos, we use a documentary style. So when we say documentary, we combine documentary with humanity. And there are some features that can really amplify your shots and make your visuals vibrant, right? So for example, using authentic shots and authentic post, we're going to use unposed in real setting and natural lighting, and we're going to capture in between moments. This way, it will really look people or or any kinds of wildlife in motion. We want to capture them in motion, and we don't want the subject to be too made up. Sometimes we're so busy focusing on making the shot perfect that we don't make it look like it's natural. It looks very made up. So we are going to not manicure the photos or the shots. We are going to do it as little as possible. And next comes imperfect. So moments should be captured spontaneously. Subjects should not be very perfectly centered. This will look very unnatural. And it's images or shots when we're going to use the lightning or brightening or contrast settings, we're not going to overly compose it so it looks unnatural. We want the video shots to be very natural so people can relate and people can also understand. And then comes human. When we say human, we want to capture the human moments at forefronts, and we don't only mean people, we also mean the wildlife, the animals. We want the emotions to come live, and this is what we mean by human. So we are going to capture very vibrant moments that showcase the attributes and that shows diversity of our region. Another important part of the visual is delivering your message. And when you're talking about an effective message, delivering plays a key role there. So let's talk about the techniques for confident and persuasive delivery, right? So when you use voice in your video, make sure it's very strong, clear voice, and the pitch of the video or the pitch of the tone will also define that what message you're trying to deliver. So make sure you engage your listeners by adjusting your pitches. If you have someone in the video, person who's pursuing the message, then you have to mention that they're maintaining a good posture. They're very confident and they stall, stand, or sit upright. When we're talking about the video, we also have to understand the practice of the video where you have to rehearse to bring in the fluency and to reduce the anxiety. We have to take pauses to understand and emphasize on the key points so that our audience can also relate to it. And preparation. This is the master of all ingredient. We have to take preparation for the content, and this begins when we are talking about the planning section. Next is engaging the audience. So, as I said in the beginning, when you're going to start, you have to ask rhetorical questions or direct questions, or you have to share a very interesting or captivating anecdote to hook the audience from before. And you're going to encourage participation through the anecdotes or the rhetorical questions that you are sharing and that you are asking. You're going to use relatable examples and illustrate points that is going to help your audience to relate and understand the importance. And enthusiasm, show your enthusiasm about these topics. And we also have to understand the tone when we are talking about the global warming or climate change. This is a very important and sensitive topic that we are talking about right now, right? This is just an example. So you don't want your narrator to be very excited. You want them to be affirmative and enthusiastic, but you don't want them to be overjoyed. And remember that an effective communication involves both verbal and non-verbal elements. So adapt these techniques to your context and your audience for an impactful delivery. Now we are going to look at what are the common pitfalls in a video. So let's talk about some common pitfalls. First is lack of engagement. Failing to understand the impact of viewer engagement can lead to uninteresting content that fails to entertain and retain audience attention. So you have to ensure that your audience is also enjoying and they're in with you with the video. Sometimes when videos are too long or the tone is too monotonous or the visuals are not too vibrant or engaging, audience will lose their interest. The second is one size fits all approach, and this is something that is mandatory. You have to tailor your video message or communication of any kind according to the audience, according to the platform, according to the media that you're using. So, not adapting to the content and delivery to diverse audience can result in ineffective communication. For example, if you are creating this video for a group of scientists, you are going to use very high level terms, you're going to use jargons and acronyms that they can relate to. But if the same video you are using for the general public, are they going to enjoy it, or are they going to be engaged in the same level? Definitely not, right? Because they will not be knowing if the acronyms they're there or the jargons that are being used. So we always have to understand, and we have to acknowledge the understanding level of our audience, and we have to ensure that our video is customized and tailored according to that. Next is inadequate follow up, and this is something that we miss out on. Not analyzing the outcome of your video communication efforts, both quantitative and qualitative, can prevent from improvement and growth. When you have a team of people working on a video, make sure that you are always involving everyone's feedback, you're taking it and you're revising it, and get that third eye view. This will really help you to understand where you're actually lacking, and you can take this feedback and you can incorporate it accordingly, and this will help you to make the video the best quality. And to avoid these pitfalls, it's very important to focus on creating engaging content and considering the technical and personal circumstances as well for all participants, including the analysis and continuous improvement for the communication strategies. So, with that, I'd like to say enjoy crafting your connections, and I end my presentation here. If you have any queries, I can help you answer it in the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you, Antara. Thank you so much for these wonderful presentations and then the very good strategies that sharing to the students to understand what is the importance of the communications and the idea in crafting the video. So I believe this is very helpful for our participants. So any questions, we will be, please feel free to drop in the chat and we will be addressing after this final presentation. So last not but least, the agenda, according to the agenda, I will be presenting some of the student competitions, guidelines, and then the submission requirements for you to understand. Let me pull my screen. I hope you will be able to see my screen. Let me change the full screen mode. Can someone let me know if you are seeing the full screen mode or just the another screen
Yes,
mode?
yes, it's full screen mode.
Okay, thank you so much, Pipai. Thank you, everyone. So I believe as our regional participant, I believe this is not strange or new, but I want to share this submissions guideline and then the computation guidance for you to understand and to able to craft the videos in an effective way and also according to the rules and the submission guideline. Oh, no, sorry. Okay, I think. Okay, so before sharing the computation guideline, firstly, I would like to go with an overview of the programs because this year we have a very special new countries apart from our SEAOHUN member countries. So this regional student competition is one of the student engagement programs and that promote the One Health principle among our member university and then the student network. So this is the annual activities where students across the disciplines and country can involve and interact and develop their soft skill and technical skill through these communication items and learning on these specific topics such as infectious disease, zoonosis, antimicrobial resistance, and then communication, collaboration, creativity, and the critical thinking. Such kind of skills they are getting and enriching from this competition. Moreover, these activities include the way of expressing the delivering the raising awareness by using the competitions materials such as poster, videos, and art on raising the awareness of One Health in to their communities. And we are also grateful to share that as of 2024, over 700 regional students that we have engaged across 7 SEAOHUN member countries through this regional competition. And we also have several partnering institutions involving from public, private, and also from international organizations such as USAID, UC Davis, California, and One Health on Workforce Next Generation Consortiums, including the AfroHun, One Health Network, and also the partner from Chevron, so this Pfizer's, and also the US Defense Threat Reduction and Agency, DTRA. So far we have conducted for the regional competitions with several topics that have been conducted differently for every year, including involving COVID-19, zoonotic disease, and also the antimicrobial resistance and biosafety and security. And this is something I would like to highlight and showcase some of our student publications and then the products that you may want to learn and in order to get some inspirations. You can get into our social media and YouTube in order to learn some of these our student products. So moving on the main topics about this year 2024 regional student competition. We have this video competitions and a teamwork competition as the usual the format of the competition. So we are getting the topic particularly on the inspiring action for wildlife conservation, zoonotic disease preventions, and One Health, with some of the objectives in order to raise awareness on the importance of wildlife conservation, zoonotic disease preventions, and in order to cultivate the creativity, teamwork, and effective communications among the regional students and the participants. So we believe this competition will provide a platform for each of our students to contribute in raising the awareness and sharing the public awareness on this particular topic. Regarding to the eligibility criteria, we are open to all the undergrad students, not only from SEAOHUN member university, particularly from 8 member countries. And this year, with the support from Chevron, we are especially extending to 4 countries that involve Brunei, Bangladesh, India, and Singapore. So this is something very unique and special for this year competition to have new countries involved, and we believe there will be so much it will be very competitive and engaging competition for our student network. And as we are is encouraging for the team competitions, that is one of the requirement to have form a team with 4 student members and including one faculty mentor from your member university from your university. So the faculty mentor must be affiliated with the One Health with the university network. And for those students who are joining from Brunei and non-SEAOHUN member countries, you may work closely with your faculty mentor from your own university. And it is each team you are allowed to submit only one video entry. Yep. So regarding to following with the steps for participation, it is required to form a team that involve 4 students and one faculty mentor. And here I want to highlight and emphasize on the team formation to include the gender, the equal number of gender distributions. This is to ensure the inclusions and to ensure the balanced team. So this for this additional for this one, there will be an extra score adding to a team that having a different gender rather than a team of a same gender. So this is something special that you can gain, and you can achieve extra scores whenever you're forming the teams and having of this gender inclusion. And also we will be giving extra points. So this is some of the tips that with a team who engage with team from different disciplines. For example, a team that come from 3 different disciplines will receive higher scores. So you can engage with any of your student members that come from different major, or maybe from different departments, or even from different universities, that you can collaborate and form your team and to get into this. This is something we want to promote and want you to practice in a One Health practical way, that you in order to collaborate with several the sectors, and also in order to collaborate with the students that have a different disciplines in One Health and one aspect of this of formation. So, and it is necessary to learn that only for the faculty member, not the members, faculty mentor, you can guide the more than one team, but for each student it is required, and it is only allowed to join one team for your participation. In generating the idea and contents, I don't think I would go through details, because we have quite a good presentation from Dr. Sandy, and also talking about this wildlife, and then the connections of this biodiversity, and you need to make sure that draw the connections and dots between this human, wildlife, and then the environmental interface. In here, I would like to emphasize again that Antara also mentioned that as we are targeting this, you have to understand your audience, who you are targeting. So it will be the public, non-scientific community. So you have to ensure that your video convey the message that is very understandable, and then that can be for everyone, for the layman understanding, and for everyone that can get your information, and that you can call for the action of One Health and in addressing this zoonotic disease and infectious disease. As for the video requirements, I would like to remind that you have to have you can have at most 3 minutes, and this is not including the USAID video bumper, which we provided you in the concept note. You can see that the link. So this is not including for this video pamper, so you can make it until as a maximum. For the dimension, it is required to have at least 480 pixel and can be up to the maximum of 2160 pixel. So the aspect ratio of the video is as the usual format that you will be seeing in the YouTube, like 16:9, and can be with the MP4 video format. In here, we want to emphasize on the English, the language that is preferable for the English, and to get for any other language apart from English, we encourage you to have the subtitles incorporated in your video. And another additional thing is we are also requesting the video transcript in English in Word document, whether it is in English or whether it is in different language. It's required to submit a transcript that in the submission link. And to cover some of the key points about the branding and marketing, that you have it is important to start your video with this disclaimer. A video was prepared for the student regional competition supported by US something this kind of statement. And at the end of the video, you can download and add the video bumper clips from the link that we share in the concept note. Additionally, SEAOHUN will be also working with the winning teams to add the our partner logos, including Chevrons, and also to ensure all the logos are in line to showcase for the final product. So this will be something you will be contacted, and our senior public engagement officer P5 is also here. Is here to support you and to guide you for this the addition of branding and marketing when it comes to the selection process, and then the come with the winning team selection. For these are also some of the video production. I'm so sorry if because here it's raining quite I have to shout it. I will try to shout it. So the video productions and editing guidelines, I'm sharing some of the points here. It is you can use some of the basic enhancement like editing, trimming, transition, color correction, and audio. But please be aware of it that you are not allowed to manipulate or try to edit on the content. It is you're not allowed to add or remove the content that change the authenticity of the capture. So for example, it's not like removing the wildlife, natural background, or something making up, like Antara mentioned, which is not very natural, but making up very like so this could also affect the originality of the content, and we worry about the video message that you have to provide it, and to make sure this kind of enhancements and is prohibited, and to not put on the edits too much. And yeah, some of an additional manipulation would include like CGI, including deep fakes and visual effects, which can alter and deviate the reality of the content you are giving. And for the submission requirement, so you have to provide a video link that is uploaded to your YouTube channel, which you can set it as an unlisted privacy mode. I'm sorry. So send it. So you have to provide this link to us through our registration, through our form, submission form, and please ensure that you upload together with the video transcript in Word document, and make sure that you comply all the technical specification and language requirement in the from yet as you can check in the concept note. And I would like to touch briefly upon the copyright and plagiarisms please ensure that you have to other submitted videos are will be credited to the original source, and to make sure you include the reference and then the source you are taken to be cited properly in order to acknowledge the owners. So, and also please make sure that your submitted material must not include any contents that promote the racial intolerance, animal abuse, or any censored content. So this is something you have to aware, and please make sure you check the reference, and that should be mentioned in the video properly, and should be properly credited. And also we appreciate and to verify the original source, and you have to ensure that from your site this is something very important to acknowledge about the copyrights, and to aware of to avoid the plagiarism. Regarding to the judging process, we have a panel of judges that will be involving from our different One Health backgrounds, including communication and science background. So we will be judging based on these criteria: relevancy to the team, creativity and originality, visual impact, and storytelling. And then technical excellence, and then ethical considerations, and overall impressions of these video content. Finally, we are, as a judging committee, will identify one winning teams from each country through the scoring. And this is the most awaited and exciting part for you, I believe. For every winning teams, as a prize will be invited to attend the SEAOHUN 2024 Student Summit in Malaysia, which is tentatively scheduled 10 to 12 August. And then we will provide a winner's certificate for each member and faculty mentor. And for those, and everyone is entitled to receive a certificate of participation, whether your video got selected or not, as a final selection. Additionally, this is some of the prizes that we used to have in SEAOHUN, like the public pick award. This is a additional activities that we want to engage the students, and to have some of the involvement from the student clubs and the teams. So all the winning teams will be posted on our SEAOHUN social media platform and then YouTube. So we will be collecting the vote, and then identify the top 3 teams which receive the highest vote. So after that, we will for those top 3 teams that have the highest vote will be featured in our social media for winning the public pick award, and then we will be rewarding this public pick award certificate. This is the tentative. This is the timeline that I would like to remind you that about for the winner announcement. We anticipate to have the announcement by the 2nd week of July, and also would like to remind you about the submission deadline to not exceed by 16 June. But there is some possibility and potential to extend the submission timeline. We will be informing you of this notification if so that will be something you have to aware of and stick to this timeline. So I think that's pretty much about the competition submission guidelines, and then about the requirements you may need to aware and take note and avoid some of the precaution. If you have any questions, I may want to pause the presentation here, and then you can feel free to let me know about any question. Because sorry, I couldn't see the chat. Okay, so it's time to have some Q&A session. I think the time is very um we have some of the comments from question and answer in the chat. I appreciate that for your engagement and asking it. So thank you, Dr. Sandy, for your answering and then respond to the student question. Do you have any additional comments or any the response you would like to give verbally to the questions that students mentioned?
Thank you, Maureen. Let's see. So it is quite a big topic to discuss, and very much sometimes we have to look on it case by case. So where the animals, which species it is, what kind of problem it's facing. Sometimes it may not be, because very often from my mentor, he will say that people usually will just blame poaching, harvesting of wildlife from the habitat, but the biggest issue is actually habitat loss, which is very much related to many economic activities of the human population. So sometimes it's hard for us to stop that. So how can we tell a company or even a community to stop harvesting from the forest if that is the only way that they know how for generations? So we have to work on it from a different angle. So um, it's not a simple solution that I can really if that will blanket everything. Say that. So hopefully from the presentation the students would have some insights. It's just a beginning. If you continue to research and look for resources online or in the libraries, I think you'll find even more examples that can make a very interesting topics for your video. I hope that would be helpful.
Thank you, Dr. Sandeep, for your additional input and then additional clarification on addressing the question. So I think there is one question. I think you have already addressed all the questions. There is one question related to maybe for my part. From Sonita, it mentioned about the citations. So you can add the citations, maybe for example from any kind of contents. Like there is no specific format, but for example, if you are taking the One Health codes, you can give the credits like WHO and then maybe the kind of the years that was released. So some of this can be embedded in maybe in a small file in each not in at maybe not in the end of the video, but beside the codes that you taken, something like that. I believe this will be helpful for you. And regarding to the questions of the logo, I believe it is not required to add your university logo in the video because this is about the competition. That logo will be involving from our partners, SEAOHUN, and then the One Health. So you don't need to add your university logo. And for the editing content, I think if it is okay to put some icon to make a description of video more clearly. I'm not quite clear with this question. You can I believe yeah, you're allowed to use the editing, but for some of the icons, you know, in order you have to make sure that your video is not hindering it's not hindrance by the any, you know, description. For example, like the content is not should not be covered or overlapping with the video or the image. So this is something I believe you can try to adjust the content and then the image icon. From maybe from this editing content and from another if you have any additional input from Antara, please feel free to add on here. I think it's also good to learn from your perspective and suggestions when creating the kind of video and then this kind of editing stuff.
Thank you, Maureen. I think you clearly explained and answered the question. But I'd say that when you're using visuals, make sure it's not overlapping. Like, make sure you're not using too many of visuals. So maybe sticking to one kind of visual or sticking to one style of icons, it's engaging and not confusing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Antara. So I believe this clarification would help for you and addressing your confusion. Would there be any additional question? Please feel free to let us know, or you can also just unmute your mic because you can just ask the question direct. You can direct to any of our speaker. And would there be any additional input from Auntie regarding the questions direct coming from the student? I would like to also invite our team to sharing your input.
No, Maureen, your answer is quite clear, and also the additional one from Antara. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Auntie. Okay, I think I don't see any additional or new question, which Dr. Sandy have also addressed all the questions and clarification. I believe now we are getting towards the end of our webinars, and if you don't have any additional questions, I would like to conclude this webinar and invite Auntie for giving any last word and additional closing remarks to conclude this session.
Yes, thank you, Maureen, and thank you also to our speakers as we draw to a close. I'm sure that with your presentation today, our webinar has been a testament to the power of collaboration, innovation, and collective action in addressing complex global health challenges, as you mentioned earlier in presentation. So, and then also, I wish to express my sincere appreciation to our esteemed speakers. I really enjoy your presentation both, and your presentation is it's very invaluable insight and so your expertise shared throughout this session, and your contributions also, I believe, have enriched everyone understanding and inspire us to redouble our efforts in the pursuit of One Health. To our partners, USAID and Chevron, thank you for your steadfast support and commitment to advancing One Health initiative have been instrumental in making today's webinar and the SEAOHUN regional student competition possible. So together we are driving positive change and shaping a brighter future for generation to come. And to our passionate participants, both from students and their mentors that I believe also which have joined us today. I saw some of them here. I commend your dedication to learning, innovation, and collaboration, and your enthusiasm and commitment to promoting One Health solutions are really truly commendable. And I have no doubt at all that you will continue to make meaningful contribution to our sharing mission. So we eagerly anticipate to your submission to our student competitions. And I believe that each video will representing your creativity and a call to actions for a healthier and more resilient world. So as we depart from this virtual gathering in this webinar, let us carry forward the knowledge that we have gained together here and the connection, force, and the inspirations ignited. So let us remain students, let us steadfast in our commitment to One Health, working tirelessly to safeguard the health of our planet and also of its inhabitants. On behalf of SEAOHUN, I would like to extend my warmest wishes for your continued success and look forward to our continued collaboration in building a healthier, more resilient world. So thank you everyone and goodbye. Looking forward to your submission.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice evening, and I wish you enjoy the rest of the day. And we look for their competition submissions and video. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.